just like to say we're really excited to be here, play again in London, and I'll be happy to answer any questions I can.
Mics, please raise your hand. Marcus will hand you a mic.
Hi, Coach. Good to have you back in the UK. You only came over on the Friday 12 months ago, so what was the thought process behind giving yourselves a full week this time?
I learned a valuable lesson that we need a little bit more time to get acclimated. And, you know, this is my first time last year coming to London playing football. I'm used to playing home games at home. So I made a mistake and tried to correct it this year. Hopefully it shows on the field.
John, what is the challenge of scheming for Khalil Mack when he's a guy who tries to sack the football, not just sack the quarterback?
Well, the problem is you're not just scheming for him. You know, Floyd is not a bag of rocks. The guy's a great player. They have two of the best inside players in the league, and they have a great blitz scheme. So it's easier said than done. Let's put two guys on Mack. They blitz enough where you can't get help. You know, that's why we brought in Trent Brown. That's why we drafted Colt Miller in the first round. You know, those guys are going to have some tough snaps against a great player.
Mike? Dick, right back there.
Hey, John, what was your reaction to the Burfict suspension?
I'm not really going to say anything. I've talked to Runyon in the league office. He knows how I feel. It hurts our team really bad. And I'm anxious to see what the appeal says. I'm not happy about it at all. And I don't want to say anything else. I'm obviously upset about it.
On the same note, Nevin Lawson, did he travel with the team?
Yes, he did. He's out here today, and we're happy to have Nevin back. He'll help us in a lot of areas. He's a versatile player.
It's quite well known that the schedules and the way that things lined up for you guys to start the season was something that a lot of people talked about as maybe making it tough to start. Do you think that going 2-2 and having the chance to be over 500 going into the bye means even more because of that tough schedule?
Well, we actually like playing on the road. We've played in Canada. We're going to get a chance to play 2 home games in foreign countries before October. We're kind of like the Rolling Stones, if you know what I mean. But it's a challenge. We've got a lot of great opponents coming up, but they don't get any tougher than the Bears. We're just anxious to go out there and see how we stack up.
Coach, you're kind of well known for like the long hours that you put in with your work ethic. How much does the travel like mess up your own schedule a little bit? And do you think that with all the travelling involved, that a franchise in London is realistic?
And I don't know. I think you have to ask the commissioner that. You know, he's got a lot more intel than I do. It's only my second time over here, but hopefully we play better. That's all I can concern myself with, is trying to play better than we did the last time.
What have you been doing this week to try and make this as normal of a week as possible for the players leading up to Sunday?
Well, we played the Colts on Sunday, and we got on the plane, and we've tried to have a very consistent work week. You know, yesterday was a player's day off. It was a coach's day to grind and get the game plan together. Today's a normal Wednesday. So it's going to be a normal rhythm in terms of the schedule. And even the setup here at the hotel is phenomenal. This is a great setup. We have no excuses not to play well.
Any differences from a normal week as far as the preparations?
Well, the big difference is a number of players that, you know, we're missing. Tyrell Williams didn't practice. Farrell didn't practice. Vontez Burfict is not here. The NFL has decided to not let him play. So we've had to mix things up and try to creatively get our reps in, and that's what we did today.
Hello, Coach. Could you please talk us through the acclimatization process that you had to go through because of the jet lag that you had, considering the travel from US?
I pretty much feel like I have jet lag all the time, you know. So, look, we have a great trainer here, A.J. Nibel and his staff. We have a great nutritionist. We have, you know, great trainers. Rod Martin's been around a long time, so we just take their advice. We came here and we tried to keep the players active until the early part of the evening. We did everything that we were advised to do. Last year when we came, they did what I advised them to do, and you see it didn't work out. So now we're actually listening to people that know what they're doing, and hopefully it helps our performance.
Coach, a lot of Raiders fans obviously in the UK. How is obviously the new stadium with the first game ever being played at Tottenham's new ground? How is that going to impact the on-field performance from you?
I can't wait to see it, honestly. I take a lot of interest in the venues across the nation, United States, and I've heard a lot about Wembley Stadium and a lot of the cool places that are out there. So I consider this a great experience. I'm anxious to see it. I bet both teams really enjoy seeing something that's as spectacular as this stadium is advertised to be.
In terms of playing, like you said, against a really tough defense in the Bears, do you think that will have any impact on those kind of 4th and short, 4th and goal decisions where you're thinking that you have limited chances to punch it in and you're going to be more aggressive?
I don't know. You might need 5 downs against the Bears. My brother I saw went for it on 4th and inches last week, and they forced a fumble on a quarterback sneak. So every foot you make against this defense is a hard-earned foot. And we're going to have to be at our best. There's no question. This is the cream of the crop, and it'll be a good gauge as to where we are. Hopefully we get some guys that are healthy that can go out and compete.
John, curious, as someone who's been around the league, observed the league for a while, what has stood out about the way that Chuck Pagano has kind of schemed up the Bears defense this year?
There's not a lot of, I don't think there's radical changes in the structure of the defense. They're still a 3-4 defense. They still are very multiple. They can play a number of fronts in their base, in their sub, and they've got great players on all 3 levels. And you don't need a whole lot of schemes, honestly, when you have players like they have. They have some of the best run stuffers I have seen. Hicks, Goldman, they're outstanding players. They're deep. They got guys that are first-year guys, undrafted players. I don't know who they are, but they're great players. They pop off the film. They're powerful, strong, athletic people, and they recover. The linebacking core can recover. They're one-on-one tacklers. They're into football, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
Given the Bears held the Vikings to 40 yards on the ground, is there any advice that you're giving to Josh Jacobs at the moment?
No, I don't advise him. He advises me.
Time for 2 more questions, guys.
Hey, John, what's J.J. Nelson's status? And you mentioned Farrell and Williams. What's their status as far as the game?
Don't know. Right now, I'd have to say they're questionable. Tyrell has a foot. He's been really, he's been hindered with some injuries the last few games. So I don't know. Farrell's in concussion protocol, and J.J. was a late scratch last week. So I don't know what Dwayne Harris's status is going to be. That's why I'll go see what the trainer has to say right after this meeting.
One more.
Coach, the Bears have not let any team scored more than 15 points in any of the 4 games, and they got 6 sacks against the Vikings last weekend. How's the game plan shaping up towards those stats?
Well, it's like you say, they're a good team. We're going to have to be able to do what we did last week, which is have some balance. They're going to have some running game and some ability to throw the ball in some obvious situations. But Derek Carr is going to have to play his best football. Not only that, we're going to have to play great around him. And it would help if we could get some field position for a change. Our defense and our special teams, they got to get us some field position. Maybe they can get some turnovers to help us out.